Hi everyone and welcome back to a little bit of Path of Exile. So this is the update video that I have that I've had to postpone quite a bit because I wasn't able to play as much as I wanted to, but I was still able to put an immense amount of time into the character. We are now level 94. The gear I'm using is pretty much everything gathered in week 1. And yeah, let's go over some stuff. So Lightning Conduit turns out is still a good league starter. I was able to, if you take a quick glance at the Atlas, there we go, I can talk. We have done with Atlas completion. We have 2 Void Stones in, which is very, very nice. That helped us to get a good amount of tier 16s to play around with, right? And yeah, I was having a blast going through the Atlas, through the completion as well. And the main bosses were not that difficult to do. I also have killed a couple of Shapers and a couple of Elders. Only 2 Elders so far though, and yeah, we are making our way towards Uber Elder. I have killed a couple of Cyruses, which was pretty decent, and yeah, this is the spoiling, right? We did do a couple of things with our Atlas tree. I first went into Essences, I spec'd out of Essences in favor of Legion, so now I'm running Legion as well as Strong Boxes with the chance to drop some Conqueror maps, and oh, there's just a point sitting here that I need to decide what I will do with it. So yeah, Shaper Elder Guardian maps, Conqueror maps, and yeah, just additional uses of Sextants, which is actually pretty decent. And other than that, Strong Boxes and Legion. This is just a very scuffed tree. There is room to improve this. I just didn't sit down and do it. That's the main thing. Chest-wise, I did invest 3 divines into this character altogether, so that is very cheap for a league starter in my eyes. 1 divine went into this chest piece, just with a decent amount of life, a good amount of chaos res, other resistances, a good amount of armor and energy shield, and it had the 8% increased explicit resistance modifier magnitudes on there, which doesn't do much for us, but I then went ahead to roll some Eldritch currencies, and we managed to get Determination, has 20% increased aura effect, which is nice, gives us more armor, more sustain, and also Flask Supply do have 6% increased effect, which also is good for our evasion and our armor and our speed for the Quicksilver Flask. Right, other than that, 1 divine went into Eldritch currency. As I told you, I did grab a couple of gloves at some point, just with some resistances on it, as well as some life. And I then just rolled the lightning exposure on hit onto there, which is very comfy. The Searing Exarch implicit doesn't matter, we are not igniting. That is just what I landed on with the last one that I clicked on it. So yeah, Eric's Grip, highly recommended as always. 1% of damage leech as life against shocked enemies really helps with sustain on this character, because you don't get any leech otherwise. Yeah, so that still is like a huge thing, I think. The boots I did craft myself. I did throw some life essences on it. I got life, 35% movement speed, which is quite nice, and I had the cold rest and strength on there, so I crafted dex onto it to make gearing a little bit easier, and then I threw an Exalt on there and got tier 1 increased armor and evasion, which is very useful for us. The other divine was just split up between like small upgrades and small currencies, stuff like that. Yeah, a couple of chaos went into the replica heat shaver, which gives us 1% of lightning damage as cold per 2% shock effect on enemy. I am able to shock for 65%. So yeah, that's a huge chunk of added cold damage that we have now, which is very nice. And some of the chaos went into a crystal belt with some life, some resistances, and that's pretty much it, right? So I don't even know if that craft does anything for me. I just bought it like that. So yeah, otherwise the Singularity was a couple of chaos as well. It's just very useful. Yes, you can get better stuff. Same goes for the shield, just a huge life roll and some resistances, right? I just stopped at 3 divines and I was like, I don't want to invest more into this character, because I was thinking about a second character, and I then did drop an Aegis Aurora. So that is sitting in my stash, waiting to get a build around it. And I don't know. I really do not know where I want to go with this. Like, I need to theory craft a little bit about this. And yeah, I mean, it's cool. I always wanted to make a build around Aegis, and now that I have one, I was actually debating about buying one because they were down to like 30 chaos. But then it dropped for me in a map, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I will hold on to that. And yeah, we have a couple of leveling items to the side, mainly two axioms. One did drop one did drop for me, one did drop for my buddy, and one I bought. Then I did check the guild stash, and I saw, oh, my buddy has one in there. So yeah, I did buy the tabby for like 10 chaos. I was like, that's fine. I just want to grab those. The rest is just stuff I dropped. And yeah, usual suspects: Goldrim, Tabby, Wanderlusts. I often find myself not using the Tabby just because usually I like to have the stats on the chess piece, and the 4 link is more than enough for the campaign in most cases. If you don't do anything really stupid, which I can do something stupid. Don't get me wrong; it happened to me a couple of times. And these gauntlets are just really smooth to get a power frenzy or endurance charge and kill. You get some attack or cast speed, whatever you need, and some reduced mana, which often isn't too much of a deal. So yeah, yep. Right, we are sitting on 25 divine orbs with 1600, almost 1700 chaos. So it was a very profitable league start for me. I had a couple of insanely good drops. Some of them I sold, especially divination cards. But if you take a look, I'm only one fortunate away of getting 2 more divine orbs. And I did farm a lot of burial chambers in the beginning. I'm now branching out a little bit to Mesa, and let's just run a Mesa map together and see how this goes. Now we will craft ambush on there for more strong boxes. That is really the content that I do enjoy. And also, speaking of stuff I've crafted, I did actually craft myself a medium cluster jewel with 4 passives, with having the increased effect of non-damaging ailments. This gives us astonishing affliction. That is all I needed to get to 65% shock with the other nodes we have on the tree. I had to sacrifice spell suppression though, so keep that in mind. That is a defensive layer that I no longer have. But I was like, yeah, since I will stop investing into the character, I don't want to go for spell suppression. It would mean I had to buy a couple of things, and that was just not gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, 3 divines is a decent budget in my eyes for a league starter. Like, that is cheap enough to where I'm... Yeah, that's fine. That is definitely an investment that I am willing to do. Hello, Primal Huntress. What do you have? Do I have to come back to you? Hang on. Getting attacked. This happens all the time to me in here. Like, it's okay though. It's okay. Hang on. There's still someone alive. There we go. Speaking of the league mechanic, I really enjoy it, and it is quite good, not gonna lie. So what do we have? Oh, look, armor applies to fire, cold, and lightning damage. That's good if you're armor stacking. Cool. The rest, just you have culling strike. Give me that. That's really good. Oh, this is also very good. Spell suppression and chance to gain onslaught. Oh, that's that is a very decent one. If we get some more blue juice, we could potentially buy this. Let's see if we can gather up a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, the juice that you get from the league mechanic is actually really insane. And it makes the mobs really tanky. So this character sits on 3 mil DPS if everything goes right, because we do have Scorched Ground on the boots. That was a lucky roll that we got. So yeah, I would like to get the other charm as well. Suppression and chance for onslaught. That sounds really good. Now, the one thing that I don't have right now is the last point into this ascendancy, which I would like to get at some point. That is also cool. Better exposure. Like, that's not bad. Let's get that as well.
Move swiftly.
Cool. So yeah, I need to find the King of the Mist's stronghold, and yeah, working towards that right now. So there we go, we empower the whole map, and see if we can find a couple of empowered monsters now. And the gameplay loop of Lightning Conduit hasn't changed, right? It is considered clunky by a lot of people, because you have to put down your Orbital Storms, and then cast your Lightning Conduit. For me, that is absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with it. Good day, 6-Link. Very nice. And yeah, usually with the 4 or 5 chaos invested that you need for the... Oh, that essence looks very dangerous, yeah. I'm usually skipping those, and we do have a... Nice. Cool. That bone helmet did drop in the last Shaper fight I've done, and as you can see, it is worth 150 chaos. So, good stuff. That's why I do enjoy doing some of the bosses. Thank you, thank you. And it's like, those are the styles that I'm having at the moment, just either good bases or like items that rolled very, very well. And I'm using the uber strict, no, not the uber strict, is it the uber strict? I have to check my loot filter, but basically I upgraded to very strict, very, very fast. And then I think I'm actually running, or still running very strict. Or uber strict. It's one of those two. Sorry, I really cannot remember. And yeah, for legions, like, I would love a different spell for this that chains a little bit more. Like, Arc comes to mind, right? So maybe we will build Aegis around Arc. That could be fun. But yeah, the legions itself, just make sure you get the war wards, and yeah, be a little bit careful with the rares, obviously. There we go. We managed to get through using, there we go. And yeah, most of the splinters are hidden actually, because we do get the chance to drop splinters as emblems, and some of them we still see. And we get by, like, pretty decently, but yeah. As I said, like, the character sits on around 3 mil DPS if everything goes right. It's like 2.7 if we don't like focus too much on getting scorched ground onto the enemy, and that feels okay so far. If you don't do the high item level silver flask, I will take those. There we go. Katarina drop luck was very bad in the beginning. I had like 4 fights where I did drop 3 shields and the chest piece once, and then the last time I did the fight, she dropped me a Cinder Swallow, which went out for, I think, 130 chaos-ish, so that was pretty nice. But yeah, now the league mechanic can push bosses into something that is really, really difficult. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, you want to walk around the boss as much as you can, just so you do drop scorched ground, and that wasn't too bad for a boss fight, right? There we go. Good stuff. Right, the other charms, or the charms that I am actually using right now, are as follows. We do have the recovery charm. This one is actually very cool, like 1% of life, ES, and mana on kill. That's pretty sweet. That keeps us alive during mapping. And with the life leech we have already through Barek's Grip, right? This is just, if we get chunked down and we kill a group of enemies, we just shoot back up to full health, which is very nice. And the other one that we have is the penetration of enemy elemental resistances, very cool. And every 4 seconds we remove curses and elemental ailments from us. The only elemental ailments we have to worry about is actually Ignite. That is very, very dangerous, but we are freeze immune, and we are shock immune. Like, that is very, very good for us, right? So the only thing you have to worry is Ignite, and obviously like Scorch, Brittle, and what's the other one? Zap? I don't really remember, but those we have to keep an eye out, but we get them removed every 4 seconds. So yeah, that is pretty much where I'm at with this character, and it is, as I said, pretty much time to move on and get a second character going. I really, really want something that is fun, that is high damage for mapping and that trains. So I don't know if I can make Arc work, but yeah, with the Transfiguration gems, maybe there's something in there that we can do. I will just have it has to revolve around armor to armor and energy shield basically to get the most benefit out of our Aegis that we have here. And yeah, so through Legion you also gain a lot of like incubators. I stopped incubating stuff on this character because, as I said, I'm planning on getting the second one going. But yeah, don't want to jump to conclusions too fast. This one's amazing. Like, same goes for the Calling Strike one, obviously. Very cool. And this is the one that I did use. The chance to gain phasing on kill, which through mapping, this was pretty much always online, and that felt really good. Like, that really felt amazing. But yeah, that is kind of the upgrades that I have done to the character, the state of where I'm at the moment. I'm not sure if I will try to reach 95. It's such a huge effort to do. And the maps I'm running usually, there is a high chance of me dying because I try to get as much juice out of the leak mechanic as I can, and sometimes that is just too much, and I do get one shot, which can happen. So, yeah, I mean, our armor isn't that bad. We get to roughly 20k, but that's still like half of what I would like to have, right? And our evasion rating shoots up to like 15,000, which is still not nearing the cap for the chance to evade attacks. But yeah, I think for a league starter, this is pretty much all we need or needed. And yeah, I mean, Uber Elder will be pretty difficult on this, I feel like. And Maven is something that I probably just buy from someone, to be honest with you. It really depends what the second character will be. If it turns out to be a boss killer, then I might do it myself, but it's more than likely gonna be just a fast mapper. And yeah, either a Templar or I really want to do a Scion again. It's been a long time since I've played a Scion character, and the one I did play back in the day was a actually Archmage character, mana stacking and mind over matter. So yeah, that doesn't count towards the Aegis though. So yeah, I will sit down and do a little bit of theory crafting, stuff like that, and I will let you know once I figured out what's going on. Keep in mind though, after or between Christmas and New Year, we do have our LAN party again. So we'll be gone for like 4 days. So there's probably gonna be, and the next PoE video will probably be in the new year. I hope to be able to make the Warframe video where I quickly talk about the quest and the new content in between that. So yeah, I should better get working on that. But that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And as always, take care. Bye.